Hey guys, decades and decades and decades ago, literally, I shot a commercial over in India, and girlfriend at the time went back home. I said, honey, I'm staying an extra couple of weeks and I'm gonna learn the martial art that they have over here. And I did. I went to a Kalari and the teacher accepted me after having tea with me and meeting his family and burning some coconut leaves in the yard. And we went every morning at sunrise and every evening at sunset and did yoga and did Kalari pipe, which is an amazing martial art, which I have to show you guys, which is all about chopping, slapping, internal power. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's got joint locks. It's got stuff nobody's ever seen. But I know one even more rare martial art that I learned. Let me see. Yeah, back around the same era, back in my undergrad days. many decades ago. And there's a Japanese kid who used to just teach me blocks, like Wing Chun and all sorts of stuff. He knew how to use internal power for fighting, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, go watch Jesse on Fire or something. If it does, you've come to the right place. So he showed me a martial art called Pachi Chen. And I want to show you guys what Pachi Chen looks like. It's crazy. Literally, you are trained to move a certain way to accentuate the power of the martial arts, even when you're just sitting at your school desk. Like, you're never supposed to lock your energy. You're never supposed to have your feet out. The feet are always supposed to be in. Right now, my feet are in this position. And this is the power generating position for Pachi Chen. And it's also the first fighting position, because from here we go sideways. The rear leg comes up in this kind of like rear John Jones sweep, and then the front we get this Anderson Silva, crazy Anderson Silva elbow, which I like to follow with a Thai elbow. But it is such a rare system, this Pachi Chen, and I see guys kind of like showing some sort of, I don't want to say the word, version of it on YouTube, but it's not it. They're doing kind of like downward elbow strikes and stuff, and it sounds kind of like Pachi Chen, but it's not the real thing. So I just wanted to show you guys that and share with you guys these, just like the basic principle of the opening move of Pachi Chen, which is this kind of like fast parry followed by that Tony Frequent Anderson Silva elbow, which is just so nasty, which is just looks and sounds like it can kill you. It's just a brutal shot. So guys, any more questions you have? I get a lot of people asking about warm-ups and so forth, and you know, other stuff. People asking about bullying. The other day I had somebody say that his dad never taught him this stuff, and man, that's one of the nicest things, most important, life-changing things anyone's ever said to me. And they said it to me online, so there you go. Metaverse, baby. Yeah, so make sure you practice your Kalari pipe and Pachi Chen. I'll put up some videos soon showing the complete forms, showing some of the applications. Might as well get the knowledge out there. You know, some martial arts are just dying, you know. I mean, literally they will be gone within the next generation. So we have to do our best to preserve them. Speaking of which, have you seen that Sylvie Von Douglas? I don't want to say girl, she's a married woman. Lady, she is doing what I'd like to do. She's literally chronicling. I mean, she does it with Thai fighting. I'd like to do it with literally so many different forms of martial arts, but she's in a very scholarly way, and I've seen nobody else do this, just technically breaking down. Like, she'll go to some guy who's had 400 Muay Thai fights, who's the elbow master, and or the clinch master, you know, and she'll take techniques from those guys and teach them and share them in a very scholarly way. So gotta remember, stuff like this is a national treasure in the countries where it comes from. Over here we consider it punchy, kicking, fighting. In other places it's a spiritual art. It's a way people protect themselves and stay healthy and good looking. I can think of nothing else I'd rather do, and it kind of hurts me that I had to actually work today instead of show you guys some moves, some shake and bake. But that having been said, let's work on a few punches while we're here. I'll show you guys maybe 5 quick combinations because I'm exhausted. I gotta turn in. What are my 5 favorite combinations when I'm just shadow boxing alone? I was gonna put up an egg weight video today because along with punching with TheraBands, I just think those egg weights are freaking amazing. So first and foremost, 1-5-6 lands for me a lot. And that can be a 1-5 pull 6 or a 1-5 overhand 2. A guy who was on the US national team who beat my head in for a TV show when we were sparring together. He showed me that combination. I've been landing it ever since. Another one I like to use is a really weird one that Therapeutic Hands over in Brighton, Mass taught me, which is head feint outward, jab inward, shoe shine, and left hook. And then pivot out 90 degrees right and double jab, which you want to do after every combination. Thank you, Andy Nance, for teaching me that. I know, you're going to say, what kind of stupid combination that's never going to land is that? Please try shoe shining sometimes. Try lighting up your opponent with fast shots to the body and then a powerful hook or overhand to the head. It is such a powerful and effective setup. So I like to work on shoe shining. It's fun just sometimes to work on your own, on its own, just as an exercise. See how fast you can get them going. See how fast you can get them going while using the entire body, not just, using the hands. I'm exhausted. I'm not even going to try. And you see, you get a little pump from it, kind of, Other stuff I like to work on is, of course, even more than the 1-2-3, even though I'm a big hooker, all my knockouts to the body and to the head are with lead hooks. I really just love practicing uppercuts. It's so fun to land them, and they're really kind of like a challenging shot to land. But when you do land, there is a certain satisfaction that comes with them. So stepping in, my front heel rather, is only landing now that the rear heel is up and the 2 is coming and then the 5 is coming. So it's so important that I relate this. I'm not punching. My whole body is like, those erasers that they put on the top of pencils and they look like this, they're rubberized? I'm 184 pound, 6 foot rubberized eraser. Other stuff I like to work on is stuff that I got knocked out with in the ring. Like when you look at that, man, I don't forget people's names. I keep forgetting this guy's name every time I refer to it. Kamaru Usman versus, I almost called him Jorge Rivera again. The guy who knocked out the Republican guy and broke his tooth or whatever. You know the guy I'm talking, Jorge Masvidal. When Jorge got slept, like it looks like Perry hit. When you actually get that, when that lands, it's like you're getting pickpocketed. You don't even know what happened. And it's not because of the power shot, it's because you can't even feel the parry. So I like to work on that a lot because I've been caught by that by pro fighters in the ring, which is the Kamaru Usman simultaneous parry and defense and chaining that together. So I'm parrying while I'm chaining those attacks together. Really being defensively responsible and minded. So I'm exhausted, lost my train of thought. 5 favorite combinations. Honestly, the simple stuff is my favorite. I love just ducking under a hook punch and just throwing a straight punch to somebody's toes to light them up. To me, that's, boxing intelligence. Simple head feints and getting inside, throwing a hook and slipping under whatever comes back. There's so much fun stuff you can do. Literally try this. Nobody does this, and it lands so well. Pivoting 90 degrees to your left and just lifting your elbow up. Not loading up. No, I'm not talking about... No, literally just pivot 90 degrees and feel that natural power. That's such a great shot. Everyone talks about pivoting outward. Fairtex literally made a video 20 years ago like this. Like, step 90 degrees, pivot outward, throw right hand. Everybody sees that at every boxing school, but nobody talks about the pivot right and the left hook. It is equally as effective and is equally as fundamental. I've never seen it broken down. So try that one. Parrying, like I always say, keep your footwork clean. make sure that the front foot and the rear foot hit and turn at the same time. It can't be like the front foot's lifting and then the back one's dragging afterward. You're gonna get so messed up by that. If you wanna move from intermediate to advanced or beginning to intermediate, that's what you gotta focus on, making sure your feet never come closer than shoulder width together. So who does it really well? Jeff Chan, MMA Shredded, surprisingly. Really good pro fighter, he does it really well. He keeps like a yoga ball between his legs at all times. Not when he's walking, he doesn't walk bow-legged, but like when he's in the ring. Like he's comfortable moving left, right, side to side with that space between the feet, and it just creates so much power and so much stability. It's so essential to have that footwork base. You guys don't even know. Only people who are super, super advanced on the professional elite level know what I'm talking about in terms of keeping that space between the feet. And pro fighters talk about it a lot, where you actually feel the power of the punch. You feel it here. Do you feel it here? Like, where do you feel it? Where is it? You know, because it is a mind-body art at the end of the day. So enough rambling. Showed you guys some crazy stuff, mostly just flapping my gums. Usually I try to pack more technique in, but I'm frankly a little bit exhausted. It feels so good to train today. While I was not able to train and share videos with you guys, all I could think about was the surprise sneak right hand that I wanted to share with you guys. You know, so much stuff about internal power, physiology, physiognomy, body mechanics, structure, and tension, and mind-body connection as it relates to martial arts, because that's where we really get into this insane mind-body, internal power dynamics, like bone-breaking martial arts strength. It's a meditative power, breathing, coordination. It feels so good right now to do that. I mean, it really does. And I'll just tell you, I'm the weirdo that does that in nature, at a sunset, with your feet off, in the grass or on the sand or on the ground, on the gravel even. Ground yourself. Freudian slip there. Ground yourself in this spiritual practice of grounding, taking your shoes off and letting your feet just feel the natural earth for a half hour a day. Right now, you can't see my feet, but they're clipping and clopping like this. I work on that a lot. I clip and clop a lot. I clip to the left and clop to the right like a horse. I walk this way and I walk that way, and I step with the punches. Very important. Step, step, step. Step, 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 step. Step, step, step. Step, step, step. You should have a coach yelling at you to do that all the time. It's so important. Using those step punches to set up the sit-down punches and the kind of more effective, more powerful power punches. But yeah, I want to go over that surprise right hand. I had a great coach who had something like 140 amateur fights, and he's the one who just taught me how to hit really, really hard. Thank you, Neil. I mean, power was everything with him, and a lot of great professionals tell me, like, when you're holding the focus mitt, you should not smack it down at all like they do in Thailand. Just hold it right there. You know, kind of like a Wing Chun or JKD master. If you do this kind of enter the dragon thing and put any tension, they'll be like, no, you know, you just got to be there without pushing at all. And Neil was the exact opposite way. He was a heavyweight. He smacked down on those pads, and like, just really, it was all about power, to the point where I got injured because I was hitting those pads so hard. So get some 16-ounce gloves, get some tape your hands, wrap your hands. Train for technique first, because you're not going to get the power if you don't have the right finishing position and starting position to your punches. If they're all over the place and you're just using your arms and not using your entire body. If the technique isn't good, if your fist isn't in the right position, if it's bent back, bent forward, bent down, bent up, you're going to break something. So make sure you also condition your knuckles, and, you know, don't go crazy about that, but, you know, It's my thing. I like finger conditioning. It's my little obsession. So, you know, martial arts is full of so many wonderful, deadly strikes that we can, you know, use to protect ourselves and also use to build an amazing body and a peaceful, happy mind that doesn't get angry, that thinks about spiritual things when confronted with lower energies. So martial arts are underrated. Everyone thinks that they're punchy and kicky and that yoga has the answer to spirituality. That is a total lie. It's the other way around. They don't tell you anything about the mind and body and spirit in yoga. And I did yoga for 20 years, and it was pretty barren, other than a few instructors like this one guy, Peter Stereos. Man, I was in a class with him and 20 people, and he made like that Kundalini energy rise up, and we all felt it, and we're all like, this is amazing, I can't believe this, and we're freaking shooting chi balls, and our eyes are closed, we're in Shavasana. And then I opened my eyes, and I'm just like, whoa, I just felt a Kundalini awakening for the first time in my life. He says, okay, class, sit up. Peter Stereos, look, like, research this guy. He's literally studied with like the highest level spiritual masters. He looks at us and he said, this was in Chestnut Street in San Francisco. He said, so, did everyone feel that? And we all jumped out of our skins and looked left and right. Because we literally thought we all had this little experience by ourselves, but no. He was manipulating our internal energy. Okay, so it does happen in yoga, but that was like one class in 20, where a guy actually went to Tibet, went to India like I did, and studied with the masters there, you know. Everywhere else, it was just like Lululemons and Birkenstocks and like this just kind of, you know, the same reason why I used to pay to go to CrossFit, but I can't go there anymore because it's a freaking cult. It's just like, just too much groupthink. And their thumb position and pull-ups and everything else is all wrong. You know, most classes I go to, I'm just like, okay. I just nod my head, and then deep down inside, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this kid is going to injure himself doing this. I wish he knew. Anyways, that's today's rant. Martial arts mixed with tons and tons of gum flapping. Make sure that you drink plenty of water. I didn't today, and usually, like, literally 12 out of 13, 14 days, like most days of the week, most weeks, 7 out of 7 days, I'm really good with hydration. So I would reach for my beautiful glass water bottle now, but it's actually holding up the camera. So I got to catch up on my hydration for today. Drink plenty of water. You know, make sure that you're taking care of your weight. Make sure that you're exercising and getting hypertrophy and muscle exercise every day, and stretching and deep breathing and meditation, and that you're examining the person who you are to make sure you're the best version of yourself and somebody that you're happy with. So yeah, thank you for everyone who subscribed. Definitely, if you're the type of person who hears somebody say, smash that like button, it'll help me a lot, and you smash it, don't smash my like, don't smash my subscribe button or that like button. Smash it if you're one of those people like me who just doesn't fit in, who has their own ideas, who, you know, he's very controversial, but with different ideologies and with different ideas, kind of like Joe. The reason why Joe Rogan is popular, just because he's just totally blatantly honest. He's not trying to sell you the whole, you know, some sort of whatever. So that having been said, yeah, I wish I could share more with you guys, but it would freak you out at this moment. But yeah, super, super excited. I'm gonna go work on some Jedi stuff like levitation or moving stuff with my mind. I'm just joking. I'm just gonna work on some simple shadow boxing, like, you know, before I go to bed, some elbows. It's fun to do some knees, some of this shake and bake I've been working on, kind of keeping the hands, you know, deviating from what I always do, but just keeping the hands in the good position, and kind of like going in the wrong position and hiding behind the hands. And I've always thought about it like this: throw away everything your coaches tell you. If you have a pro fighter swinging at you, or a human being swinging at you, and they're trying their best to hurt you, and you're doing something that works, use that. If you're doing something that doesn't work, discard that. You know, your experience should be a guide which is 2 or 3 times the size, 2 or 3 times as important as what anyone else tells you, regardless of their experience. I've had some amateur coaches who never had a pro fight in their life, maybe like 20 or 30, 40 amateur fights at most, teach me this amazing inside slip jab. And I asked my coach at the time, it was IBF number 2, Andy Nance. I'm like, Andy, I'm hitting people with this jab. He's like, no, just, you know, and the other way around, stuff that he taught me, other fighters are like, no, I don't do that. It's like, do whatever works for you. And if a coach is telling you, don't do this, or I don't do this, it doesn't have to apply to you. Make what works apply to you. In terms of love, money, life, your mind, the way you act, the way you think, the way you behave, and certainly the way you practice martial arts, which is why I practice some really unpopular, goofy martial arts that people think are totally fake and whatever. And it's like, cool. These things have enriched my life. When I was sick, they made me healthy. Been able to throw grown men to the ground, knock guys out to the body, to the head, and do some cool stuff. Again, I can't tell you about because you wouldn't believe me and it would freak you out. But I can't wait to continue this journey with you, this journey of breathing, growing, punching, and kicking, because it's not a punchy, kicky thing. It's a spiritual thing. It's a life-changing, self-awareness thing. Everything yoga claims to be, you find in martial arts. So enjoy the journey.